As the leader of the Booner Pack, I lead from the front.
All right, boys. Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the f*** up, boys.
It's pumping right now. It's got my juices pumping, boys.
Right, I think we are live. We are live here at Knapp's City Garage to celebrate a Detroit Lions ass whooping. Yeah, I mean, this is like, they've done this quite often. You know, a team that they are heavily favored by. Biggest line of the year. Detroit Lions were like 14-point favorites. Yep. And you still find a way to get it done. And now we got Booner going to do the Kool-Aid chug right now. He's dialed in. But, thoughts on the offensive explosion. They scored they had the most, I think only 3 times. This will be their third in like the franchise history. They've had 600+ yards in a game or something. Or is that NFL history? I couldn't remember.
In their team's history, I could be wrong, but I think that's the 9th most yards ever put up by a team in history.
That's ridiculous.
I think I could. Don't fact check me, or do fact check me on that, because I could be wrong. But yeah, the Lions did what they had to do to go out and win. I mean, that's their third 35+ point win of the season. They just beat up on bad teams. They beat teams they need to beat. They scored more touchdowns than the Jags had points. So, yep. That was just pure domination. We're really excited that's an awesome win. And, man,
I think
next week.
Honestly, I think that might have been Doug Peterson's last game coaching in the NFL.
Yeah. The Lions just got them fired. The Lions just got Doug Peterson fired.
No, I seriously believe that's the last game he's ever coached, or he will coach for the rest of the season until maybe he gets rehired. But that's it. That game he should be fired. The Jags, to me, they looked how we expected them to look. Offense was trash. Defense was trash. The Lions are a Super Bowl contender, so obviously they're in a different category. But offensively, man, it feels like everyone hit their overs. Amon-Ra St. Brown balled out. We talked about a 100-yard game. He did that. Yep. Jameson Williams, we talked about him. Yep. Balled out. Yep. Both those guys at 100 yards. Which, we talked about that off air. I don't think that's even happened once this year, where both those guys had 100 in a game. No, it hasn't. Let alone by themselves.
No, it hasn't. That offense was cruising, and Jared Goff had one of the best games of his career. He threw for 412 yards, only incompleted 5 passes. He had 4 touchdowns, had a perfect passer rating. That's a great bounce back game for Jared Goff.
Yes.
And I'm not saying it puts him in the top 3, but that definitely puts him back on the graphic for MVP. It definitely puts him in that top 5.
400 yards, 4 TDs.
Yeah, and a perfect passer rating, unbelievable. And I hate to shift gears here. The offense is going to get a ton of love, throughout the week and today. That defense, man, I think they held the Jaguars to under 200 yards. Aaron Glenn and those boys, they just knew they were better, and they went out and did what they needed to do. Terrion Arnold,
he played well.
Yeah, he looked really good. The linebacker play was really good. Zadarius Smith got a sack, and he played really well in the run game. You could just tell he plays like a veteran out there, and he brings great energy. But yeah, that was just a complete team win by the Detroit Lions. That was one of the biggest ass whoopings I've ever seen, and I've said that like 4 times this year for the Detroit Lions. But truly, I do think that was the biggest one.
Yeah, I thought that by far offensively the best game they've played this year, which is hard to even something crazy to think about. They've had some crazy offensive performances, and that to me was probably their best, just because of how easy. It looked a couple games where it looked easy, but the yards weren't necessarily there. Like the Titans game, easy, you're scoring in the red zone, but the yards weren't there. This game, the yards were there. You had Jameer and David scored. Monty scored twice. You could have opened up FanDuel or whatever betting sports book, BetUS, anything you use, and just clicked on touchdown scores.
Close your eyes,
and you probably would have had Brock Wright scored, man. It looked like Craig was going to score at one point.
Yeah, everybody got it today. That's the way to do it. If you're beating up on Team Ben Johnson, knows everybody's got to get the love. You got to spread the wealth. James Williams scored. Amon-Ra scored 2. David Montgomery scored 2.
Yeah.
Jahmyr Gibbs, Brock Wright.
When they are humming as an offense, you can't stop them. You can slow them down, but you cannot stop this off. Even if again they have to beat themselves. That's what you have to rely on. You got to like the Houston Texans. You got to hope, or the Bucs where they couldn't. They had 7 red zone trips and didn't convert 1. Like you have to hope that, or I think they converted only 1. But you have to hope that they just turn the ball over or they just forget how to execute. Essentially, like you can't. defensive coordinators stay up at night.
Yeah. I
like
mean,
Gus, who's the defensive coordinator for the Colts? Gus something. I can't remember who it is, but next week he's like, shit.
Yeah.
We got to deal with these guys now. I mean, it's a problem.
Yeah. If you're a defensive coordinator, I mean, how do you plan to play against this team?
I don't know.
Like, seriously.
They're tougher than you. They're more physical than you. They're more talented than you. They're more explosive than you.
They're better than you. They're better than you. And this is not only – I mean, going into the season, we knew this was going to be, a top 3 offense, if not the best offense in the NFL. This might be one of the best offenses I've ever seen.
No, you're right. You're right. It's not even a laughing matter. You're actually correct.
Because you stop the run. Let's say an opposing team stops the run somehow against the Detroit Lions, which will never happen.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get a big game from AG. Then you get a big game from Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams.
Right.
By the way, this game's crazy.
Yeah. This is.
Yeah. And then let's say you shut Jared Goff down a little bit. You limit him. Then you get 100 yard. Then you get 185 combined rushing yards from David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, and they have the best offensive line in football. This team's unfair to play against. This is honestly me and Gentry were talking about it a little bit. I'm 22 years old. I've been watching football for about 15 years. I watch those Patriot teams. I've watched the Chiefs teams. This seriously might be the best football team I've ever seen in my life. Truly. I mean, they're so complete. Yeah, there's holes, but there's holes on every team. And the hole on the Detroit Lions is probably what? Like the cornerback play sometimes.
Yeah.
And get into the quarterback, but it's still serviceable to good. You know what I mean? Truly, this is.
They can beat you in different ways.
Yeah,
they can run the ball all over you and get out of there, and Goff doesn't have to do anything. Or Goff can shred you, or both. They can run the ball all over you and shred you.
Yeah.
And their defense forcing turnovers. That's like the biggest thing. I mean, they got another one today, Kirby Joseph. It's like, even though I guess you could say, oh, this is wild. This Ravens Steelers game is wild.
Holy crap.
Even though Booner didn't get the interception right, he got the position right.
Yeah.
It was a safety. He went with Brian Branch. Kirby got it.
Yeah,
but Kirby just continues. I mean, this defense, Anzalone, he went out with an injury. Za'Darius, he got a little banged up. I'm not going to lie, I was a little shook. I was worried there for a second.
Yeah.
But you know what? Za'Darius even at one point came back in and got a sack.
Yeah. He brought so much to this defense today.
Yeah, he did.
Because he put a lot. I know Mac Jones isn't the most mobile guy in the world, but you could tell Mac Jones was flustered at times. And, him being that good on one side makes it easier for the guy on the other side, whether it's Nowaski or James Houston, to succeed. It makes it easier. But, yeah, the energy he brought as a veteran, what he brought in the run game today, it was awesome. He's just the perfect addition to this team. I mean, can you imagine him, if he sticks around next year and it's him, Aiden Hutchinson, that's going to be elite. Or maybe even this year, if Aiden Hutchinson, we just saw him walking in the pool.
See him in a Super Bowl potentially, even though I hope – I don't know. Think it'll happen, but man, you get to see those two play together. I can't wait. They got a lot of talent on this team. Most talent I've ever seen in my lifetime. I know many people would probably agree with that, given they're much older than me. But this team is special. This team, to me, is just in its own class in the NFC. Like you're watching some of these NFC games. Like we talked about the Commanders and Eagles played.
Oh no!
You're like, no way. They're beating both these guys. I mean, like the AFC is more of a bloodbath, but I don't really know anyone in the AFC that could. I can undoubtedly be like they're right on their level. Chiefs are the closest for sure.
Yeah.
But I think they could beat the Chiefs, with how they're playing offensively. So it's special, man. What a time to be a Lions fan. I mean, honestly, you get to enjoy 14-point spreads and they cover by triple that.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
And you talk about the NFC. We just watched on Thursday night 2 of the best teams in the NFC, or supposedly what is supposed to be 2 of the best teams in the NFC, Philly and Washington. Watching that game, I mean, the Lions. I mean, the Eagles are a good football team, and so is Washington. But they can't check the Lions right now.
No.
They would be in the football game, but the Lions would beat those teams pretty good. If they played tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do.
They're going to run away with the NFC.
I mean, you're talking about a team who's going to get the number 1 seed this year. I mean, look at the schedule. We talk about it. Where's the loss? I mean, I think there'll be 2 more. Given 1 divisional, 1 just random loss.
He's wet today.
But
Booner is.
Yeah, he's drenching Kool-Aid. But even though I say 2 losses, they'll be favored in the games. I mean, they won't be an underdog the rest of the year.
Yeah. No.
Maybe, I mean, even the 49ers game, that'll be, I think, a slight favorite, even on the road. Red bag for – yeah, there you go.
I'll play it on after.
Yeah, they'll be they'll be favored in every game.
Yeah, I mean they will. Seriously, I know people talking about this Steelers Ravens game. This is crazy. And by the way, Pope 23 he says clean your camera lens off. No, it's just the connection that's going in and out. Hopefully it's good now. It's the for a second they didn't know what's going on.
Pittsburgh made a stop. There we go. Dude, and we're gonna go back to the lines in a second. We do the pick'ems on Friday. I seriously might go undefeated. And that's the biggest heat check from the boy.
The Steelers.
That's the biggest heat check from the boy. All right.
This is ridiculous.
Proceed.
I mean, this is honestly insane. I was just telling him, like, the
muted,
AFC.
Klotz. I think you're muted.
There you go.
Good eye.
I was just telling Caleb, like, looking at the AFC and NFC, kind of the comparisons. I mean, the AFC, you got some guys, but, like, the Chiefs are – I mean, look at these two teams right now.
I mean,
16-18.
It's a good football game. This is a gritty football game.
They're good teams, but
It's this is what happens when the Steelers and Ravens play.
Yeah.
Like, it's never a high-scoring game. Chris Boswell has the only points for the Steelers at any point.
Yeah, and you know when you talk about
This
the
is
NFC,
ugly.
like I don't think if they played next week, I don't think the Chiefs would. The Chiefs are the only team in the NFL right now that I think could let's say they played 3 weeks in a row, they would consistently put up a good fight against the Lions, but they would never beat them. They're the only team in the NFL that could check the Lions right now.
yeah.
And-
I mean, I couldn't agree anymore.
And you know, we talked about it on the show, and you just brought it up. Like, where is the loss on the schedule? Like, you know, it is hard to say. Yeah, this team's going to go 16-1. They're not gonna lose again. But after when you're beating teams that bad in the NFL, which is hard to do, that was a college football score. That was
That was bad.
That was Alabama versus Macomb Community College.
That's like Michigan versus like Eastern or Bowling Green.
Yeah.
Any of these random ass teams. That's what that looked like. It shouldn't look like that. That's not an NFL score. It's like bullying at this point. That's what it feels like to me. It's bullying.
Yeah, that was embarrassing if you're a Jags. A part of the Jags.
I just want to be a fly on the wall and like Jags talk radio and just see what they're talking about right now.
That would be the last talk radio I'd
like
want to
boys, like Doug Peterson,
Mac Jones.
Get the hell out of here.
No, he does have to leave. He should have been fired 3 weeks ago. After they played, where'd they play? London against Caleb Williams, and then they lost, and Caleb Williams went crazy. That's when Doug Peterson should have been fired. And if you're Ben Johnson, after watching that, no way you're going to Jacksonville after he's fired either.
No,
Aaron Glenn, why would you want to?
No, hell no.
No, that was bad. The Lions just dominated on both sides of the ball today. I mean that was, and me and Jeff talked about it a little bit. That was probably Doug Peterson's last game as a Jacksonville Jaguars coach. I mean, you can't lose by 40 and then just walk on in Monday morning. What's up, guys? What's going on?
Hey, how we doing?
Yeah,
Aaron Glenn, another just masterclass.
Oh
like,
my God.
He had no answer for Aaron Glenn, Doug Peterson.
He said, you know what, Mac Jones, you could take your checkdowns all game, and he did, and he had 6 at the end of it.
Yeah.
It just didn't. What was that? No, they're all gone. Sorry, man. Oh my, yeah. No, people kind of took the towels. They're all gone.
Hey, yeah, we got cleaned out, fellas. RAB's gonna have to send us some more merch.
All right, fellas. I'm gonna have.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. Give that man some.
You're on to him.
Hey, give him a koozie too, Boone. Koozie too.
All right. I'm gonna have Boone hop in here. What a win for the Detroit Lions. Like I said,
Yeah. Incredible.
Like I said, this is, and I'm not like, this isn't hyperbole. Like, I truly mean this. All the years I've been watching football, the Detroit Lions, they're probably the best team I've seen. And yeah, man, but I mean, this is the best team in the NFL right now. Best
Hell of
team
a
I've ever
day to
seen.
bet, man. Hell of a day to
Hey.
bet. Anything offensively, you just smacked everybody.
And this is no disrespect. If you didn't win money on this game one way or another, like, what
are you doing?
What are you doing? There's no way he didn't win money. All right, great win. Love you, boys. Thanks for
Good
tuning
job,
in. Boo's going to come in and
Let's go, Caleb. W, Caleb. Holding it down.
Caleb's a legend. Shout out Caleb for holding it down, dude. Give me.
Hey, how was the Kool-Aid chug out there?
Dude,
This is my home
They got
streets.
Justin Fields.
How'd they treat you out there?
It was good. I've got my clothes here. I've
Just
got
got
to
'em
throw them
balled
over
up.
here.
This is cool.
I got to get a bag so I can throw them in there. Yeah, no, it was good. The Kool-Aid chug. It might have been one of my. They keep getting better because the Lions are getting better. You know what I mean?
You're moving with the Lions.
Yeah, it's
like momentum.
There's more things to talk about, and I know I don't really talk. I scream and yell, but there's more things. Like the Lions, literally, guys. I would like to see in the NFL, and remember week 1, or maybe it wasn't after week 1. It was after the first 50-point game that they had. I was like, hey, this Lions team's like the best show on turf. Like, they just have so many weapons. And then I got a little pushed back a little bit. Not from you guys, but just people in the chat. And another win, whether it's versus the Titans, the Cowboys, the Jags, whoever it's against.
50 points. 50
in the NFL, and they've done it 3 times now. And they have won by like 40 or plus 3 times now. And they're still like, we just got through halfway of the season.
Yeah.
There's still a whole nother half of the season going. You're 9-1. Like, you still have 7 games to go, and you have already have 3 50-point games and 3 40-point wins. Like, it's unbelievable. And it's like the offense does not seem to want to slow down at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know I think last week, like, yeah, they were able to get a stop. Like, they struggled in the first half. Ben Johnson said it. I said it in the pregame show. Ben Johnson was like, that was the worst half of football offensively that we've had since I've been the OC in Detroit. And you could tell he took it personal. He will never have anything close to that Houston game ever again.
Yeah.
Never again.
That was a personal, I'm getting my lick.
Yes. For the next 7, 8, 9, 10 games left in the season, they will not have an offensive struggle like that again. And like today, guys, I know it's the Jags. And I'm going to say something. Trayvon Walker played. Josh Allen Hines played.
Hines,
yes, he played. They still had players that were out there. This was an NFL defense. Whether you think it was bottom 15, top 15, whatever, they put a 50 ball on a defense, NFL defense again. Like, that's what's just so shocking to me.
It seemed like they just mentally were checked out.
Yeah.
Like, the Lions just beat the will out of them.
They were defeated when they got off the bus. That was start the buses by the end of the first quarter. It was 21-3, I believe. It was like you saw that the spread was already covered and it wasn't getting any closer.
When you get out there you're strutting out on the field, and you start seeing the fans come in. You're like, oh, there's some fans. Oh no, okay, there's more. There's more. Okay, oh, there's more. Now there's 60,000 people in here. It's loud as hell, and you got the Lions offense putting up a 50 burger on you. It's disheartening. I don't blame them.
Yeah,
it's tough.
Someone said in the chat, 10 games down, 10 to go. You have 10 more games left to go win a Super Bowl.
Dan Campbell mentioned it. The biggest goal, winning that soup.
Yeah, last week he went on 97-1, and he was like, he had thrown out 11 games left of the season. He was like, I want Zadarius Smith to get ready for the last 11 games. Instantly, Costa doesn't 11. That instantly means Super Bowl. But
that's all they got on their mind.
He's taking that into consideration.
I mean, people say the teams that go farthest in the playoffs win a Super Bowl. You got to get hot before the playoffs, man. If they look like this,
you're the best team.
If this offense is humming like this, like right before the playoffs, oh my!
Because they're not a Miami Dolphins offense where they're soft.
They could travel.
Like if they go up against a physical defense, that falls into exactly what they want to do because they're going to run it right at you, and you're not going to be able to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you look at the offenses that historically they put up a lot of yards, but usually they're soft. They don't have the best offensive line, but they have a quarterback who can just throw it all around the field. They have the offensive line, the quarterback, the tight end, the 3 wide receivers, the 2 running backs, and the coordinator to go with it. I don't see a defense that could stop. There's some defenses that could potentially limit it. Like you look at Kansas City, you look at if they were to, for whatever reason, play Pittsburgh in the Super Bowl, like maybe those defenses could limit them, but you're not stopping them. The Lions are putting 20 on everybody.
I will say this hurt at Lamar's MVP case.
He played bad.
He played like shit.
Did you guys have the golf conversation yet?
As far as
MVP?
He bought. Oh, no.
I mean, 24 for 29. I think he had a perfect quarterback rating. 412 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Now, you could say the 5 interceptions takes him out. That puts him back into a conversation.
For top 10?
Top 5. 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
Yeah.
If you're talking about a bounce-back performance, like if he just went out,
for sure.
If he just went out there and had 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, you're like, okay, maybe he might have a chance throughout the year to get back into it. He followed it up with a 400-yard performance, perfect passer rating, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah,
and
it was a hell of a bounce-back game. I don't know if it puts him into the final, like he's in the top 3 right away.
Not right now, but I'm saying it gives him a chance to where it's like you could really sit there and be like, this actually might not be dead. Like they're actually might be
it's got like the beep.
What are the odds as they stand right now, Bill?
I'm going to
see. Pulse.
They don't have it on. I'm going to go look at a different book here.
That's what I would say.
Because he dropped significantly after last week, obviously.
He should be in the top 5, I'd say. Like, I don't hate that.
I think he was outside the top 10. Yeah, well, like this, Lamar playing.
It'll be,
Not
in
as
my
good.
opinion, in no order, however you want to rank it. Josh Allen, Lamar, Mahomes, and then that's where you kind of get in that gray area. Do you want to go Derrick Henry over Goff? Okay, do you actually want to do that, running back compared to quarterback? If you want to do it, that's fine. Who's after Derrick Henry?
All right, you guys take a guess what it is.
I think Saquon.
What do you guys
Saquon
think?
over Goff,
They
Well,
are
I
up,
think he's in there. I don't know. You can put Goff over.
they are updated. After today's
Okay.
game, where's Jared Goff? Lock it in.
I would say 5.
5? Okay.
7.
Jared Goff. I'm gonna go start from the top with the odds are right now.
Okay.
Lamar Jackson plus 125.
Okay.
Josh Allen plus 280. At plus 600, Jared Goff in third. Over Patrick Mahomes, over Jalen Hurts, over Kyler Murray, Joe Burrow, Brock Purdy. He is
about
now
to take
third.
an L.
He was literally, guys, he was below Jaden Daniels. He was below Brock Purdy going into the week. He dropped out almost outside the top 10. He is now third at plus 600 again, over Patrick Mahomes.
What do you think would have to happen for him to go back into number 1?
I mean, I think if he does, like, obviously he's not going to do what he did today consistently. First of all, as long as he doesn't have any blow up games like he did last week, even if it's like 3 interceptions, he's out. I think you just go out there. If he averages 275-ish yards per game and like 2 touchdowns per game going forward, and the Lions only lose 1 or 2 games, you have to consider him.
I think. Okay.
You have 7 games left.
If you want, okay. The question is, will he be in first place at any point for the rest of the year? I would say no. There is no way he will be in first place. Will he be a finalist? I love that take.
So
top 3.
Do you think
I
one
just don't
game
think-
can make a break or 17 game sample size?
Absolutely. If you throw 5 picks,
I
absolutely
disagree.
it does.
No, because voters.
That
Guess what? Voters
No.
do vote, and I'm not saying you don't, because you're a very good ball knower. You know a lot about football. Voters know ball. They can look at the 5 interceptions and they can take into account a little bit. Hey, a lot of these weren't him. Hey, he still took you in the final 3 drives and went and won a football game after throwing 5 interceptions. He was able to do that. Now you have another 7-game stretch. Like, you're not taking away MVP away from someone off 1 football game. Not off 1 sample.
Yeah,
There are
Let me
17
ask you
games
this,
in the
though,
season. You look
Playing
at the other
devil's
16.
advocate, because I don't know if Goff will win it, but I think if he plays top 3, Josh Allen wins today, and Lamar plays a number stinker, I think that could do top 2. And then once you're there,
You
Josh
have a
Allen
chance.
could-
yeah,
there's-
You have a chance.
I'm not ruling it out. But when I look at it, what do you think if Lamar doesn't have another stinker? Doesn't that just stick out because it's like 5 interceptions?
No, I agree with that. But now, again, like if Lamar doesn't play good for a couple games and he drops a little bit, like, guys, like, it's not like there's one guy right now that it's like, oh my gosh, he's having an MVP. Like when we've seen Mahomes do it, we're like, he is for sure the MVP, no question. We've seen Aaron Rodgers do it, no question. Tom Brady, no question. There is no one that you're looking at right now and being like, no question, the MVP. It's an open race.
I think if
There's Josh Allen, Lamar.
If Josh Allen wins this,
Agreed. I agree. He's
Okay.
front runner.
I think it's Josh Allen, Lamar, and then we have like the group of guys. I think.
My thing is with
personally.
like Lamar,
I-
and I think and I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying going forward. Lamar to me is just you see the games like in the division where he lost to Cleveland on the road, and now you lose to Steelers on the road. It's not that they lost; it's that you can just see where his arm is not like to the caliber of just average quarterbacks around the NFL. Like honestly, not even trying to be funny. Like he makes Jimmy Garoppolo type throws. He has a better arm, but there's times where it's like where Jimmy G would just miss wide open throws. Like that's what Lamar Jackson does in big games like that. So Goff, at least he was trying to make the throws. They might have been picks, but he was able to make the throws to get back in the game. Lamar lost that game. At the end of the day, like Lamar's losing more than the Detroit Lions, and people view them as both upper echelon teams in the NFL right now.
Yeah, I think Goff will win Super Bowl MVP. I think book that.
It would be really tough. Like I would hate to see the Lions win the Super Bowl and the Goff somehow not get MVP. Like,
yeah,
Super
he would
Bowl
have.
MVP.
He should be Super Bowl.
He
MVP.
deserves a Super Bowl.
I think he'll do that.
I agree.
I do think he'll do that. But yeah, I think that the next week the Colts. I mean, Anthony Richardson played well today. Did they beat the Jets?
They did. Last second, 3 rushing touchdowns.
No.
One passing touchdown. Guess who it was, dude? Josh Downs. anyways,
I hate this. Yeah, pick him. I had a rough week and pick him again.
Yeah, I don't think I did too, so don't stress.
It's
me.
I think I was about 500.
I'm gonna download. I'm gonna downwards trajectory.
Yeah, Caleb hit
like
big.
slow. Yeah.
I yacked at the thought of picking the Saints.
I can't believe Jameis Winston threw for 300 yards and 3 TDs and
Booner-
lost by 2 scores. I
Booner
mean, what are we
quote
doing?
said, "If you don't pick the Browns, you don't know ball."
And the
Friday
Saints-
on the pick
Did the Browns lose?
Yeah.
They lost by like 2 scores.
14, yeah.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
That's like we should.
Need that.
Get that.
Need that.
I went to go live, but I didn't put my bet in for the Bills, and now it's like minus 250 for them to win. So I'm just gonna wait a little bit.
Yeah, who do you think James Cook scores today, Boone, or no?
Yeah, and I was literally gonna do a James Cook touchdown.
I think
It is nice, fellas, when the Lions play at 1 because we have all day to just watch football.
I love the 4 o'clock window. You can wake up. Like, you know what I mean? You can wake up, you can watch some ball before, so you're not like groggy.
You know what? Play in Germany. Let's get up at 7.
Fuck no. That's bro. That's the games that like I can just go forever without.
Yeah, we'll just hang out. We'll be at like do a pregame show at like 7 a.m.
God no.
Be dogs, huh?
Well, yeah. What bar's open at 7? That'd have to be like a dive bar.
Got to dig deep.
The leftovers from last night are still out on the counter.
You just got to dig deep. Yeah, I'm a happy man.
How about
this is sweet.
Zadarius Smith?
He was incredible. I was a little worried he went down. He went down early, but
Scary.
you bet on half a sack?
I wish I would have got the full.
I know.
I was asking around,
know.
where can I get it?
I know. That's
Could not find it anywhere.
he was. I mean, Zadarius, even though like the sacks weren't there, you could see his impact. Not for him. He
sure.
had the sack, but I'm talking about they didn't dominate as a team.
Yeah.
But you could see his impact. I mean, James Houston missed one.
Yeah, and
elite.
that was bad.
The-
too. That was just undisciplined.
The run defense was elite. I mean, you got everything you wanted out of that defensive line. It was great.
How are we looking in the chat? How's the chat feeling too?
You guys see the stuff with the Chiefs and how their referees are
And bail them out. And,
bail them out every time?
rate.
I don't know.
That's why I just hope the Bills expose them. Like, they're like a Super Bowl caliber team, but like the way that people that's why I hate when people go look at records, power rank, and then just the Chiefs de facto won. It's like, I understand like they're undefeated. It's Mahomes, but if you watch them, they're not the same Chiefs they have been. Jeff Iafrate the last 3 years.
I
They still
agree
win
with
a
that,
Super
but
Bowl,
they're still.
yes. But there has not been a team like the Detroit Lions that contend with them, at least in the regular season. There hasn't been. 49ers, I still don't put at their level.
Lions are better.
They are.
Chiefs
there's no
are
denying
second.
it.
All right, I took 2 bets on this game. I took James Cook anytime, and I took Josh Allen to throw for 2 touchdowns plus 1.
Hey, I'm not going to lie to you, boys. I felt me and Caleb were digging deep. I'm throwing something at the wall, seeing if it sticks. Me and Caleb got something, man.
Did you hit today at all?
Tell me if you like it.
Did you bet the
Debo,
one?
Travis Kelce, and T. Higgins plus 1,500.
Wow.
It's just that, you know what I mean? T. Higgins, like, hey,
I don't hate it.
you don't hate it?
I
The ball,
like it,
hey,
man.
ball, no, okay.
I like it.
Don't hate it at all.
T. Higgins is going to score,
Debo usually goes crazy against
and they don't have
Seahawks.
Kittle today,
Oh, I didn't even see that.
and then Kelce just always scores in these games for some reason.
Oh, my God. That was a dot and a snag. Amari Cooper. Look at this, Boone.
Yeah, so in
This is
terms of like
MVP type of
AFC
play.
opponents for the Lions, I said it earlier. I don't think there's anyone in the NFC that actually puts any
This is insane.
there's no one in the NFC
It-
that puts fear in my eyes.
Well, that's easy to look. There's no one in the NFL that's like line you're scared of.
but the AFC has the closest teams.
100%. It's just like the
But-
Chiefs, Bills, and Ravens. But like, I think the Lions take all of them.
Like I really want to see Eagles Lions. I wish they played.
I honestly
I
think
wish
the
they played.
Lions would expose the Eagles.
I wish they played in the regular season just to
who's-
see it.
When you look at that secondary, who's sticking out right now for the Philadelphia Eagles?
Quinn Mitchell.
A rookie corner out of the MAC. He's getting worked by Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's getting worked by Jameson Williams. Who's their best linebacker? I'll wait. Okay,
Who, the Eagles?
now go
Yeah.
tackle David Montgomery.
Zach
Jr.
Bond?
again.
I don't think
Honestly,
there's
probably,
guys.
I like Zach Bond, but he's not tackling
There-
David Montgomery Jr.
No.
There is a
he's
sense though when like, not an excuse, but something people always say. Well, you're going up against Andy Reid. You're going up guys like Dan Campbell. And I know it's opening night, and it's not the Super Bowl or the playoffs. Opening night, in my opinion, like you're in Kansas City. I know they didn't have Travis Kelce. Dan Campbell went head to head with Andy Reid and Spags and
Not
them.
gonna be
So
scared,
he is.
yeah.
To me, it's like Dan Campbell has proven already he can stick up and go up against the best. And I don't think like coaching is going to matter. Are we at the point though, like where people like I remember a couple years ago, everyone was questioning like, is Dan Campbell a good coach? Is he a reason you lose? Is this that? I don't think you ever question that anymore with Dan. Like he's been so good. There hasn't been a situation over the last year and a half, 2 years, 2 seasons where Dan's been a reason you've lost. Like maybe here or there, but not
this
where you
year.
can be like, that was just
Well, Dan,
Insane.
there has been games.
Well, I'm saying since
Yeah.
the last year or two, and I said that
Yes.
at the jump.
Yeah.
I said the start his career.
No, I was with you. I was agreeing with you. But
Yeah.
what I was gonna say is there's been games, but you don't see it anymore with Dan. He's been,
It's the last year and a half.
Yeah.
It's been clear.
I do
And
agree with you.
He's gone up against every head coach in the NFL, like
Yeah.
the best of the best. Like he went to Arrowhead on opening night, Super Bowl ring night, and if you won the game, I think you could say you outcoached. Like you did. Like you brought the better team and you went and played a football game and you beat them. And he did that versus Andy Reid and Spags. Like
I think
it's impressive.
with Dan Campbell, you can't say that. At least we can't say he's better than Andy Reid, Sean McVay. If they beat Shanahan this year, then I think you can put him above there, just because Shanahan's had so many opportunities and haven't been able to.
if Dan gets to a Super Bowl and especially wins it, he solidifies
I would say
it.
right now, like the way he's been coaching over the last 2 years, he's been coaching the top 5 coach. You go and
Absolutely.
you have another year of playoff success. You are a top 5 coach. You win a Super Bowl. You're a top 3 coach.
Yeah, I think a Super Bowl for
James
him
Cook right here. Come on.
would mean I would put Dan up in that top.
Andy Reid won
Hell.
gap. I think even if Dan
Yeah,
wins the Super
I think
Bowl
that's
this year,
everyone knows
Okay,
that.
okay, so
I
I'm
just think
wrong.
though, but like even then, like I don't think there's like just because a coach is better than you doesn't mean you can't outcoach him.
Fair. Yeah.
Like Andy Reid, he's been in the league. He's won multiple Super Bowls. He's created a dynasty. So it's like, yeah, he's always better than Dan Campbell until Dan does that in Detroit. But when you're going head to head, like they went head to head, you could say something. Chris Jones was out. I really don't care. Mano a mano, coach versus coach. Who won? Dan. And then like, that's why I'm not.
There it
Here
is,
we go.
Boone.
There we go. That was an easy win. Put 25
what was
on
the
it.
odds on that?
I think it was just even money. Basically,
Wish I
just
had my phone.
made that back. And then I just
James
need.
Cook.
I want to do a money line for them, but it's minus 375.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the offensive explosion today, everyone was winning money.
And it was all around the NFL. Like
Oh, I didn't bet any other
Cooper
games
Kupp,
to be honest.
Cooper Kupp had
Puka.
a 70-yarder. Puka had one. Jerry Jeudy had a 90-yard touchdown. Westbrook Akine had a 98-yard one. MVS had a 70-yard one. Like the
Explosive plays.
touchdowns today were.
All right,
crazy
I
around
hate
the
to
NFL.
keep bringing this up, the
All right,
Jared
well.
Goff stuff. Today, quarterbacks with a perfect passer rating in the game this season. Kyler Murray week 2, Lamar Jackson week 9, Jared Goff now week 11.
Crazy.
He is one of 3 players this year to have a perfect passer rating. And then you add that on top of the 18 for 18 game. You add that onto let me just keep like all these games that he's had. Like that's why it's that one game. Take that out. Look at the season. Like if he threw for 2 interceptions on Sunday versus the Houston Texans, he is in the lead for the Super Bowl or for MVP. That's where I get like.
I know, but you can't like if it was Lamar
'Cause-
Jackson,
but still,
like we'd be holding it
Because we count the great games.
The part I hate about it is that 4 out of the 5 of them weren't
That's
on
why
him,
MVP is
which
like
is-
such a hard. It's a tough award to
narrative,
win.
though.
Yeah, you have to.
Flat,
You know it.
Flathead Frank asks, is Goff back in the MVP race? He by
Define like race.
by
Like
the
top
book,
3.
by the book, he is now in the top 3 for the race. It
You
is
want my honest
Josh
opinion?
Allen plus
I
150, or no, Lamar plus 150, Josh Allen plus 300,
Yes.
Jared Goff plus 600.
I think
those 3.
I think he'll be in the race for the rest of the year, given how good the Lions will be, and he's playing pretty well in the year. But I think in the race versus winning, like I think he'll just be that
Yeah, which
third.
is-
Like you saw the odds, it's like plus 100, plus 200, plus 600. Like he'll hang in that plus
Yeah.
600 for probably all year.
I think
I
that's
don't
fair.
see
But
him jumping to.
you saying that, you know what I love about that? It means that there's still a chance.
Sure.
narrative- the
yeah, I like
narrative's
it.
still
I
awake.
like it. Hey,
And I want to do this, and I'm going to put this on our socials right now. I'm going to wait for this to go away. I got a breaking news. You know what? Let me pull it up in a minute. I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna tweet it out, and then I'll get back to you guys in a second. and I'll pull it
I
up.
think I know what it is.
Don't
Get
give
that
it away.
Kool-Aid jug ready after 2, Bill.
Yeah, I mean the Kool-Aid. This thing has really seen it all. I mean, you guys were out there, right by
It's
Lake
cold
St.
as
Clair.
hell today,
I
too.
bet. Right by
my
the
God.
water,
Through
the wind.
terrain. Boone fought. Gritty chug. We'll say that much.
It was who? 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh,
damn.
breaking news. Alex Anzalone out 6 to 8 weeks with what?
Probably a forearm fracture.
Caleb, what is it? Broken. That's what he said. Okay. He said, bro, it's broken. Talking about his forearm.
At least you get it for
8
playoffs.
weeks.
At
You
least
get them for playoffs.
That's what matters. So it sucks, but Jack Campbell.
Yeah, you can still get the number 1 seed without him,
Yeah,
and
and
you should be fine.
even bigger now that you traded for Zadarius Smith, because
Yeah.
Alex Anzalone was setting edges when you didn't have Aiden Hutchinson. Now they got Zadarius, that helps.
The leadership factor.
Jack Campbell, Malcolm Rodriguez,
Yeah.
Germ. He got put on IR, didn't he, Germ?
Yep.
And then you got. There you go.
There you go.
Oh,
Heck yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's his beer.
And then
There you go.
got Trevor Nowoski, and then you got Ben Neiman. All those guys have been stepping up. So Alex Anzalone is definitely going to be a huge loss for this defense, but it's not. Sounds terrible. It's not somebody that you are can't have on the field in order to win. If that makes sense. Like if you don't have him out there, it's not.
It's like it's kind of similar, not maybe the same level, but it's like having Demon and Jameer. You lose one, you're like, well, we still got. It's like Jack and Anzo. It's like you lose Anzo, you still got Jack.
They're still in a good spot.
Yeah, and the way they're even deeper though, because they have Malcolm and Ben Neiman and Nowoski. They got other guys who are capable. That stinks, man. And Anzalone, he plays so hard. It's like it's gonna happen. The guy's gonna get injured at some point. It's not too bad. He's not out for the year. So
Yeah, as long as he's back,
it could
in
be
playoffs,
it could
we're
be
good.
worse. We'll wait for Boone here after you post it.
I'm almost there.
Okay, because I think we did a good job here covering the entire game.
I think we did a good job.
I mean, in an ass whooping, there's not really much to talk
Good
about.
weather.
Even though I do enjoy it. I do enjoy the
calming.
big blowouts and stuff.
Good on
It's
the
a
blood
little
pressure.
harder to break it down after because it's like they just got smoked. The Jags are just that bad. You know what I mean? The Lions are that good. Like after that,
Ain't nothing.
ain't nothing.
Ain't nothing.
Amon-Ra St. Brown's back.
Yeah. God, Johnny
This
went
game's going to
off.
be good. Yeah, this Chiefs and Buffalo Bills game is going to be good. They missed the extra point.
Yeah, huge miss extra point.
You picked the Bills on the pick'em when we did it.
I did, yes. You got a lot of people went.
I picked the Chiefs.
I know. Just wait.
Oh,
Just
shut up.
wait.
Joe Brady, very good
Just
OC.
like I picked the Colts.
All right.
He thought he ate.
Just like I picked the Steelers.
He got one.
I want you guys to
Colts
look
pick,
away.
right?
Don't look at my thing. I think Jeff already saw, so.
Yeah.
But Klotz, you look over there.
I can look at what I want to look at. Though. All right.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Third and four.
This is actually big news here. This is, I think, the biggest news in Detroit sports history. It's
Nowhere
up there.
to go with the ball. No one open down the field.
I think this is some of the biggest news we'll ever see.
All
of our
right,
lifetime.
I gotta find out. All
All right, Klotz, look that way. All right. Hold on.
Holding.
You ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Klotzy, how beautiful does that look?
Super Bowl MVP.
The Detroit Lions are
Super
now the favorites to win the Super Bowl. Plus
The first time in
440.
franchise history,
I guarantee you, they have finally passed the Kansas City. I know it's not winning it,
favorites,
but just to
favorites
look
win it.
at the sports books and to see that the Detroit Lions right now are the favorites to win the Super Bowl is
You
insane.
like slap yourself.
It's not real.
Plus 440. I mean, what is that? That's a little bit higher than the Chiefs. A little bit lower.
They're
I
plus
guess.
450. The Chiefs are plus 450. The Ravens are plus 600, and the Buffalo Bills are plus 750.
So it's Chiefs Lions. They
crazy.
think Lions are a better team right now, as they should.
That
That should be. I think the Bills actually have
I
a
would
better
say
shot.
The
than
Bills would scare me more. Sounds crazy, but just matchup wise on paper, Bills scare me more than the Chiefs do.
I think they should be higher than the Ravens, for sure. I think the Bills should be third.
Ravens will be gone by divisional round.
Yeah,
That's
so
the
I
way
would
it is.
put the Bills over the Ravens there.
Shout out to Mike Reed, put $5, donated $5. Said,
Shout out.
still mad Terry Arnold didn't get a pick, fellas.
Well, Mike Reed, we're with you. We've been calling it. Guess what we're
Man,
doing
wait.
next week? Guess what we're doing next week?
Doubling down.
Running
No,
it,
not even
running it
doubling.
back. No, we're running it back. He's getting a pick next week. It's
Nine
happening.
time
It's
down.
already guaranteed.
Yeah, and then obviously you guys heard we guys already talked about a breaking news with Anzo. That's
Yep.
tough.
Yeah, it's very brutal.
So what does that say? It's 6 weeks.
6 to 8 weeks.
So let's say
He'll be back
6.
playoff time.
There's 7 games left. He'll be back in time. Just one Vikings. No San Fran for him though. What's good about that though? Lions have done such a good time, especially in the linebacking room. Rodrigo, Jack Campbell. I know Derek Barnes out. It's brutal. Nowoski,
Neiman.
Ben Neiman. They've done such a good job. And you know what? Who gets the credit for that?
No,
Kelvin Shepard.
Mm-hmm.
He has done such a good job, man. Kelvin Shepard, he knows how to develop linebackers.
Yeah, he does. Potentially next defensive coordinator. Who knows? Maybe they go out. Maybe they go get someone else. But I'll tell you guys one thing. I had a freaking blast today.
What a day! Yeah.
This was Naps did a great job. Shout out Danny having us out here. Real American Beer, Pat. And honestly, I was talking to Danny earlier. Mentioned potentially maybe some January. And we'll see what's going on. I keep options open. Maybe Naps is a place we can always. It's like home here. We can always go back to Naps and hang out and have a good time. So we appreciate all you guys that came out here and hung out, supported the fellas. Hey, I mean, these buckets are empty. I mean, these people really.
Yeah, I mean, all of the merch we had has been given away.
Yeah,
Everyone
great.
wants it, which I love it.
Yeah.
That means, and I'm sure Pat's going to love. That means we're pushing Real American Beer, and time for us to get some more merch.
There you go. And Boone,
Let's throw that on to end the stream.
And it's a small.
It's a small. By the way, we don't know. It's a small tank top, crop top.
Klotz almost did it. He was almost nice. And Booner sacrificing himself every week to do these Kool-Aid chugs. Check it out on our social media.
Yeah, go check it out.
Go ahead, like it, share it, comment. We appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you guys, all the people in the chat, man. Hit the like button, share all of that, man.
All right, we'll
Love
be
you
live
guys.
tomorrow, 8 o'clock. We'll break the game down even more in depth, and we'll get some more updates for you. But until then, guys.
Love you guys. Peace. Go Lions, baby. Super Bowl season.